So I want to talk about what this valley meant to people in biblical times, because that's really significant. To the people who first heard the Psalm 23, this wasn't abstract language to them. It was survival language. The Hebrew phrase behind the shadow of death carries the idea of deep darkness, thick, overwhelming gloom. And in their world, that wasn't poetic exaggeration. That was literal experience. The narrow ravines where sunlight completely disappeared, these were the paths that bandits hid. Wilderness. And there was a lot of wilderness where people got lost and they never returned. So when they heard the valley of deep darkness, they didn't think about the metaphor first. They thought about danger. And I love that Psalm 23 reframes this whole thing, because even there, our shepherd is present. So let's bring this into the reality of divorce. And this is where all of this comes together, because divorce often feels like a valley experience. It's not just sadness, but it's disorientation. It's a place where nothing feels familiar anymore. Decisions feel heavier. Emotions are unpredictable. And the future feels very unclear. And you're just walking through what's in front of you, because sometimes all you can see is literally the hand that's in front of you. You don't see very many steps ahead. But in Psalm 23, it doesn't describe avoidance of the valley. It describes companionship within the valley. You're not abandoned in the terrain that you didn't choose. And that changes the meaning of the walk through this valley. So here's the turning point. Maybe the valley was never meant to be the place where people disappear. Maybe it's always meant to be the place where they discover that they're not alone. And I even think that this valley is where we remember who we are. Because the valley doesn't erase our fear, but it goes deeper than that. It reveals His presence in the middle of this valley. And for anybody walking through a divorce right now, maybe your goal isn't to rush out of the valley. I know you want to, but it's important that you don't. Because maybe it's to learn how to recognize your shepherd in the midst of your valley, even here, even now, even in this dark, lonely pain. And here's some truth bombs to take away with you. In the same place you find danger, you can find devotion and prophetic assignment, because that's often what valleys in our lives are actually for. Number 2, the valley is not the destination, it's a passage. Don't forget. Number 3, you are not abandoned in the terrain that you did not choose. Jesus walked this road many times in His lifetime, and He walks it in companionship with you now. Number 4, shepherds lead sheep through dangerous places because something better lies on the other side. Number 5, God never promised a valley-free life. I wish He did, but He doesn't. But He did promise His presence within the valley. So if this is where you are today, you are not disqualified, you are not forgotten, and you are not off course. You are walking through something that biblical people have been naming for thousands of years. And somehow the promise has always been the same. You're not walking it alone.